put on their fur one leg at a time like all the 6-year-old buck. He's not invincible.
That's the one Daddy's gonna chase this year. Holy moly. See, I figured once we saw him. That's it.
Oh my gosh. Lucky.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that's freaking lucky.
We're not even hunting yet, and I'm already just fired up. Season on, game on. Heart rate is up. Yeah, we got him, buddy.
The pinch strikes again, baby.
So pumped.
Is that right there? Oh man, I'm shook up. How's the front one time?
I can't believe it. He's walking to the right.
Oh, yes! Dude! I smoked him! I smoked him! Come on, baby! Are you kidding me? Let's go!
Chasing November, Season 9 begins now. To each and every one of you sitting there and watching wherever you might be, thank you for joining us. Ahead is an adventure we're excited to share with you, but before we embark on our new journey, it's worth revisiting and reliving the season that has just passed us by. Heart-pounding excitement, an effective phrase to describe what the 2022 season delivered for the Midwest Whitetail team. From the very start, the iron struck hot and it never cooled. No stranger to successful seasons, Mike Reed, unbeknownst to him, is riding an incredible streak of shooting 7 booners in a row heading into the fall. With 2 clear bucks at the very top of his mind, Mike wasted no time to notch another giant to the impressive list. On the very first hunt of the season, he picked the perfect stand location, and a river bottom monster known as Poseidon lumbered by at point blank range.
You gotta be kidding me. That's awesome. You can't make this up.
The remainder of the season, his attention shifted to the tight-frame bruiser nicknamed Kelsey, and the chase contrasted vastly from his successful first hunt. The cat-and-mouse game between hunter and buck spanned the entire fall, and on day 4 of the new year came to a close. As one story ends, another takes its place, and for now, that's where we will leave the growing legend of DK. Following the same script as Mike, team member Caleb Greiner entered the season with 1 buck on his mind. Armed with past encounters and shed antlers to crack the mystery of Hog Jr., expectations soared, until they came crashing down. Suddenly, the property where all plans had been laid was now leased, and so enters this story Caleb's new friend Steve. A landowner in the thick of the buck's assumed fall range, Caleb's door-knocking and conversation landed him right back in the game, launching him on a roller coaster ride that would see his season go down as one of his best ever, illustrating why we all have such a profound appreciation for chasing November.
Let's go, dude!
That was crazy! Oh my God.
Success in the woods isn't defined solely by punching a tag. After making the move from Ohio as an intern in 2021, lead Midwest Whitetail editor Gavin Katurba has played chess on the public lands of Iowa with multiple bucks. Among all of his intense moments, Gavin's confrontation at 20 steps with the once-in-a-lifetime monarch stands at the top.
I don't have much to say after that. That's the biggest deer I ever encountered.
A few limbs away from his biggest buck ever, the close-range encounter fuels his fire for the incoming 2023 season. Reflecting on any season, it's easy to feel that everything either went wrong or everything went right. For Tyler Bellman and Justin Lubrecht in Missouri, it was definitely the latter. They focused on what they could control, making numerous improvements to their properties in the off-season, and left the rest to hope. Their hopes paid off in a big way, as almost every buck they wanted to return did so. Before October 1st even arrived, Tyler had multiple close-range encounters with a legendary buck known as Crab King in a strategically placed greens plot. Eventually, he got his opportunity.
There he is. He's right there. What a blessing. Wow.
Justin's attention was fixated on a buck he called Velveeta, and for good reason. This buck, known for the extra velvet stuck to his rack through the fall, had roamed the property for several seasons and was now sporting its best antler set to date. Detail by detail, the plan was meticulously laid out on the big plot for a single opportunity. On a rainy late October afternoon, the moment finally presented itself, but passed as quickly as it had arrived.
I'm not even set up. Man.
Down but not out, a few days later, Justin's instincts led him to a nearby property where he had shot his biggest buck years before. That gut feeling turned into a dream hunt as Justin sent an arrow downrange through a ghost, capping off an extraordinary start to the season. Tagged out before November, the long wait for the late season to provide a new tag ensued. Although they didn't get another chance to celebrate with a grip and grin, long-range sightings of Velveeta and several other bucks confirmed they made it through the season, starting the loop all over again. When it comes to describing Owen Riegler, many titles come to mind, but at the top of the list are father, friend, and mentor. Bursting with humor and deep big buck knowledge, Owen probably forgets more about deer hunting than most will ever learn. As the 2022 offseason began, excitement was at an all-time high, fueled by evidence that two incredible bucks had survived the previous season. True to form, Owen turned his focus to the small details, setting two strategic traps he believed would make the difference between triumph and disappointment come fall. By late summer, devastating news shook Owen's world to its core. Owen Riegler Sr., a dedicated conservationist and the man who instilled values in Owen that we all cherish today, was suddenly gone. Though it was the most challenging experience of his life, Owen found solace and strength in the support of family and friends. Eventually, he felt ready to return to God's creation and honor one of the most cherished activities he had shared with his father: hunting. What followed next is exactly what we would expect. Clinical precision by one of the most successful bow hunters on the planet.
Oh my God. 4 years.
That's a fitting deer to take first year after losing my dad right there.
Jeez. Just toasted him. I drew on him 3 times and I was shaking so bad.
Rounding out the fall with the textbook late season hunt, Owen's focus shifts to a buck that he's kept close to the vest for many seasons. A buck known as the Loch Ness Monster who holds world-class potential. This is where our new story begins. Potential is probably not the correct description as it pertains to Loch Ness. He's already a world-class buck in his own right. But to kill the biggest buck of your life and have the name Owen Riegler, it takes a special set of circumstances. Excited for the possibilities that might be ahead, anticipation turns to fear when trail camera photos reveal a large hematoma located on the back right side of the buck's gut. Fast forward to early January, and the buck, well ahead of the normal cycle, casts both of his antlers and vanishes. Unable to sit back idly, Owen puts boots on the ground well before his usual shed hunting occurs to find the exceptional antlers.
Oh, none other than the big man. That's him right there.
After locating one side, Owen enlists reinforcements and the team starts the quest to find the complementary antler.
Let's just head down through this section. When we get down to that bottom, we'll go through whatever we can spread out in there. See if we can come up with it. We're on the board.
Man, nice spot.
Kevin! I mean, what? Oh my goodness.
Just that hole in the beam? Holy moly.
What are the odds?
Look at the hook on that thing.
They laid out here pretty much in the wide open. They still got to it.
Yeah?
But,
That's the only spot?
yeah, that's the only spot.
Mass on that thing.
It's the frame. This other side's just as wide, comes clear out like that. Well, we came in here for a mission. We had to bring in some recruits, but we came up with it. Thanks, guys. That is awesome. Well, we're gonna call it right now. I'm gonna call this tree right over my shoulders where we're gonna get a crack at this buck. We've got 3 years of history, kind of trying to pinpoint him, and I think this is the spot right here. So we're going to work on everything around this area right here to enhance this the most we can. We'll put food here and make sure the bedding's what he needs. I really believe that's going to be the tree right there, so we'll go ahead and call our shot. Thank you.
With both sides recovered, the 1 in a million match set propels Owen's focus on what is in his control. Despite zero guarantees that the buck is alive, Owen lasers in on historical information and crafts up a plan to be in a position for a chance that he's dreamed of his entire life. Similar to Owen, Justin Lubrecht and Tyler Bellman hit the spring with a defined goal of tracking down antlers to various bucks, and succeed they did. At the top of their haul was not just one, but 2 antlers from Velveeta, the elusive buck who had slipped past Justin.
That's old Velveeta, right here in the same plot that I was having all them encounters. That right there is where I had the redneck setting, but we're up here today frost seeding, and I come right around the corner here, and it was a no-brainer when you seen that split G2 on there, who it was, so that's pretty neat.
Big plans and transformation are ahead for the woods that the unique buck calls home. Sticking to a recently crafted forestry plan, drawn up in conjunction with the Missouri Department of Conservation, a flame is ignited that will result in the largest food plot on the entire property.
What this does to a property is it takes the foliage from 200 to 300 pounds and it bumps it up to 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of browsing. And that's just basically a massive food plot in the timber. And it just gets, that much more nutrients to the deer, and it's going to get the oak regeneration started, and then it just opens up the forest floors.
Adhering to his own conservation plans, Mike Reed has also spent the spring doing his best to track down clues of any bucks that might have made it through the season. Notably, at the top of the list is a side of the home farm legend known as Big Mac, a nemesis for oldest daughter and blossoming hunter Bella Reed. Shifting to the infamous River Farm, many miles are put on by the entire Reed family, and through all of the laughs and lessons learned in nature, hauls of antler are found. Notably though, are 2 specific sets of antlers that remain elusive. First is DK, the giant frame buck with broken tines that made a majestic appearance the same evening the story of Kelsey closed. Second is a buck known as Fitzmagic, a deer that in terms of number of sightings ranks as one of the most visible bucks in Midwest Whitetail history. When in doubt, chances are high that the white gold remains unmined in the swaths of native grasses that Mike has worked so hard to establish over the years. Carefully executing his own controlled burns, Mike discovers exactly what he hopes to find.
Okay, baby. The broken side. Isn't that awesome? The main set of antlers we're looking to find ended up finding DK's left side. Super pumped to find them.
For the rest of the team, spring brought numerous scouting missions, the discovery of antlers from familiar bucks, and opportunities to tackle time-sensitive projects. The common goal is clear: to leave the woods better than we found it, ensuring the upcoming season can be as successful as possible. As summer rolls in, the heat of battle arrives quite literally for deer hunters, and not in a good way. Geographically speaking, much of the Midwest faces drought conditions of varying severity, placing sportsmen and wildlife in a challenging situation. Taking the cards dealt by Mother Nature, Gavin Katurba spends his summer further scouting the public lands he's hyper-focused on the previous seasons. Evident by the drought, changes are afoot with many portions of the landscape that are normally underwater being now accessible. With cameras deployed in historically productive locations, Gavin's dreams drift to relocating the magnum buck that's haunted his thoughts since the previous season. Driven by similar thoughts as Gavin, Owen Riegler's mind constantly visualizes just how big the Loch Ness Monster might be, if he's alive. For the past 7 months, Owen has adhered to a dedicated shooting schedule in preparation for the shot of a lifetime, and luckily, he thinks he knows right where it will be. A key plot emerges that is known as the Wide 8 plot. Going back to the 2021 season, this dream November scenario plays out exactly why.
Whoa! Oh my God, buddy! We were not here, 10 minutes?
That fall, the green field in front of him was drilled into winter wheat, and nothing changed rolling into the 2022 season. The takeaway is that this spot is in the core range of the Monarch, but the action on this particular location doesn't heat up until the pre-rut when predictability begins to hit the wayside. Now, the summer of 2023, Owen shifts gears and crafts a seed mix from Monster Buck that he believes will give him a chance earlier in the season with multiple plant varieties with high palatability in early October.
All right, guys, we've just been waiting for a good day to get these fall plots in. It's been so hot and dry, I haven't wanted to put them in with a little bit of moisture in the ground because I was afraid they'd germinate, and then so hot and dry they'd burn up and you'd have to plant them again. So the next 4 days is like anywhere from 40 to 60% shot of rain. So one of the things I like about Monster Buck is you can buy all this stuff individually packaged so you can mix your own mix if you want, and that's what I like to do. So we're gonna mix this up and get to planting.
Owen's timing is right on the money, and the weatherman's rain prediction rings true.
I can't stand it any longer. I've got to go down here and check this SD card. This has all been planted to my fall mix. You can see it's still got some alfalfa in it that, you know, we didn't kill. We left that and just drilled right into it, so come on, be there, baby, be there.
Card number 1. Ah, there he is right there. First picture of him. It's at night, infrared, but still, you'll get the idea. There he is. I can see a drop on the left side. Looks like a flyer on the right. Appears to be an absolute mammoth.
With the Loch Ness Monster's return, reality sets in that Owen's season ahead could be his best ever. Over in eastern Iowa, Mike Reed's hunting focus is twofold. Prepare as many locations as possible for hunting with family and craft a plan that might increase his chances of catching up to the buck he calls DK. Between sightings and trail cam history, it's evident that the buck ranges through the farm some, but certainly doesn't hold the title of a homebody. Heading into the summer months, Mike has some hope that this might change. Recollecting on the fall of 2022, in addition to Mike's success, many others built core memories on the river farm. Included on that list is Rye Ludwig, who with Mike behind the camera, shot his biggest buck to date. Followed up by none other than Rye's better half, Abby Ludwig made it to the woods and made good on the opportunity presented with a perfect shot on the oldest known buck on the property. Finally, during the late season, after spending nearly all of her Christmas break hunting Big Mac with Rye in the home farm, Bella Reed switched things up and built another core memory with her dad, punching a tag on a beautiful 6x6. In total, 6 bucks over 5.5 years old that roamed the same general range as DK are now gone, freeing up plenty of space for the buck to core up tighter to the property. Implementing a similar strategy to Owen's plan for Loch Ness, Mike crafts a plan that he believes will give him a chance at the buck earlier in the season than ever before. Electing to plant the Brassica blend mix from Monster Buck, Mike plans to put the Great Plains drill to work, preserving as much of the precious moisture as possible. Arrive planting day, and a reveal that skyrockets excitement.
That's DK. Holy moly. That's him. See, I figured once we saw him. That's him. That's the one Daddy's going to chase this year.
I'm taking it with you.
You're going to chase it with me?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. I need some good luck.
With DK's return and the planted plan completed, another notable legend has revealed himself. Back on the home farm, tucked tight to his usual core, is Big Mac, and he is sporting his best rack ever. Following the same recipe that is cooked up for DK, Mike drills the same mix into a location surrounded by bedding with perfect access for early season cold fronts. With the stage set, the wait begins. Not far from where Mike hunts is Zach Rosmus, a longtime team member at Midwest Whitetail who through the years has produced some of the highest quality self-filmed stories we've ever told. Showcasing the ultimate dedication to the camera, one big change in 2023 for Zach is that he will have a full-time cameraman in the form of Ty Allen, one of the newest interns in Midwest Whitetail. At the top of his list is Area 52, a 90-acre paradise that he and his wife have poured blood, sweat, and tears into for the past 2 seasons as new landowners. Each year, Zach has fit together more pieces to the puzzle, and during the 2022 campaign, his lifelong goal of filling a landowner tag nearly came to fruition. Though heartbreaking, the razor-thin margin that separated him from his biggest buck ever and watching the giant walk away with his doe cemented one thing. Hard work and dreaming big can lead to an opportunity at success. With all sights set forward, Zach continues tweaking his best spots and implements a brand new plot location with one buck in mind. A deer he calls Young Stud, who has all of the makings of a world-class buck. In addition to hunting Area 52, uniquely, Zach has secured permission to hunt the neighboring property. A deal struck through an exchange of work and friendship, the added layer of opportunity makes the incoming season that much more exciting. With cameras deployed and plots planted, Zach anxiously awaits the fall shift to see what bucks return. Next up, it is time to introduce fully Rye Ludwig, who shares a similar story as Gavin Katurba. An intern turned full-time Iowa resident in 2021, Rye pursued his dream and moved to the land of giants. This year, his main focus is on the same permission farm that Caleb Greiner offered hunting access on in 2022 in exchange for help on running cameras and completing to-dos on the property. A permission farm with historically excellent hunting, the 2023 season holds the same level of promise with multiple bucks on the list to relocate. At the top is a buck known as the Tight 10 and another known as the Non-Typical. Both are giants and should be even bigger if they return. Right on cue, the tight frame giant returns, and the task to combine Rye and Caleb's minds to develop plans is engaged. With multiple established stand locations already set, the biggest change is implementing a new green plot in a unique way.
We're down here on a farm we call the River Farm. This is a farm that Caleb's been gracious enough to give me permission to hunt with him. Super thankful to him. This is a spot where there's a ton of corn damage from the deer. It's just been annihilated, and there's a lot of sunlight getting to this area of the ground. So Monster Buck makes a blend called the Overcast blend, which is designed for broadcasting into standing ag. With this spot having this much damage and this much sunlight reaching the ground, I'm gonna try the regular Brassica blend and see how that works. Hopefully we'll have some kind of plot here to target Tight 10.
Much like the rest of the team, Rye sits back and patiently awaiting opening day. New or returning, however you'd like to put it, enter into this story two familiar faces. Drake Lamb and Justin Carnes are two best friends who met for the first time all the way back in 2017 as interns in Midwest Whitetail. Fast forward 6 years, and the duo are inseparable, venturing into a new business opportunity that pairs their love for hunting with habitat management. Much like Rye, the duo have secured multiple opportunities for hunting through various exchanges of work, and it so far has paid off big. With multiple bucks that skyrocket the adrenaline, time has passed working in as much detailed preparation as possible. Much like Drake and Justin, Caleb Greiner has continued to further his habitat management business into a full-blown career that allows him to combine his love for the white-tailed deer and his work. Every day, he's doing something hunting-related, whether it's for a client or for himself, and this secures one key component for his upcoming season: a flexible schedule that will allow him to maximize his time in the woods. As his busy season begins to fade behind him, Caleb's focus is now twofold. First is his commitment to help friend Steve prepare for the upcoming season. The same property that he tagged the Hog Jr. buck on the season prior, all sights are now set on the buck the duo calls Guards, who is now a full-blown giant sporting a huge drop tine. With plots planted and cameras deployed on Steve's, Caleb shifts his focus and sets out to find back a real-life ghost that calls the open country of Iowa home.
I don't have high hopes for this pull, you guys. Oh my gosh. Lucky. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. That's freaking lucky. Oh my gosh. What a sow, you guys. Look at the base.
Caleb's discovery of the giant buck's return is the cherry on top and stamps a level of excitement for the entire team that might be at its highest ever. Looking to piece as many clues together as possible, Caleb scouts and locates multiple hotspots that he thinks he might be able to pattern the buck known as Lucky on in the coming weeks. Finally, on the cusp of September and opening days across the country, I find myself well behind the 8-ball on a brand new property. At this point, I've only stepped foot on the dirt one single time back in the middle of July, shortly after securing permission. On that visit, we accomplished deploying a single trail camera on a notable crossing and got a general idea of the property's layout with the landowner as our tour guide. In addition to this, one thing that generated extreme anticipation was a statement by the landowner talking about a wide giant he had seen only a few days prior. Pair that with a brief sighting of a really good buck in a soybean field nearby, and excitement is high. Fast forward a month to present day, and a single trail cam picture throttles my priorities in the gear, setting the stage for my entire season. Well, it's been a pretty dry year as far as bucks go. August 30th, 7 o'clock p.m. And I got this photo right here. Tank of a body. This is on that crossing. Big old deer. Coming off that CRP, I'll guarantee he's bedded in there. Tanker of an 8 with a drop time to just salivate about. All right, well, we definitely smelled something dead. I wanted to come look at this creek just to see how accessible it was, and it is thicker than all get out. There's a hardhorn buck up here. Go check it out and see what it looks like. Mother Nature always wins, as they say. But unfortunately, you never want to see that. I mean, it's a terrible way to go. With the EHD find lingering in the back of my mind, my sole hope is that the incident is isolated and will not spread throughout the property. With no signs of the drought ending anytime soon and intense heat in the forecast, the outlook doesn't look good. Fast forward a few days and my spirits are revitalized in the form of a new buck showing himself for the first time. Remember that giant wide buck the landowner mentioned? I think we got him. Pair that with more photos on multiple camera locations of the drop time buck, and all of a sudden, I feel like I can join the team in saying, ahead might just be our best season ever. Just like that, deer season officially arrives. Despite the scalding heat, the opening day of Kansas youth season is here, and the Reed clan is hitting the road for the long drive west.
Friday, September 1st, we are headed down to Kansas for the opener. Tomorrow is opening day for youth season and Bella's up the bat. Kat and I worked today and then picked up the kids from school and took off. The sun's going down. We're gonna get there around midnight, but we're excited to get out and get hunting, and hopefully we can get one of those velvet bucks down. That's unbelievable, honey. First shot was 65 yards. Second shot at 105. And then all the other stuff is me.
I don't know if it's just me, but I think I would have killed the deer.
Yes, ma'am. Nice job, honey.
Everyone, it is September 2nd. It is about 6:30. It's super hot. It's about 98 degrees, so we're hunting over water, and hopefully it will bring one of these big bucks in.
99. Temp is dropping. Pressure dropping.
His ears back, yeah, he's going to walk off that other deer. Well, he's all pressed nestled. Oh yeah, look at him. Wow. Oh. A velvet horn and a hard one.
The brief scuffle between the hard-horn instigator and the velvet buck is the peak of the action, and the hunt ends. Over the next 2 days, Bella makes multiple sits despite the low odds of buck movement with the lingering heat wave. While none of the giants she's dreamed about show, the time spent between father and daughter is precious. 4 days later, the trio of Mike, Rye, and Bella load up again in Iowa to make the 9-hour trek west to Kansas. This time, anticipation and hope are much higher, with relief coming in the form of temps in the low 80s. Following a short night of sleep, the morning hunt ends on a high note with a distant sighting of a familiar face. With an idea of the draw the buck is holed up in, it's time to make a move.
Okay, whoa, like fast little things.
Look at the spikes on him. Look at his little horns on his head. Look at his little horns, you see?
Mm-hmm.
It is Saturday, September 9th, and we are back at the lease in Kansas. Got out of work a little bit early yesterday. Rye picked up Bella from school, and we were able to hit the road by 2 and make decent time. We got here between 10 and 11. And we actually slipped out and hunted this morning and laid eyes on one of our targets. We hunted about 250 yards behind where we are now. It's a buck we're calling Chief, and he's actually still in velvet. So I'm hoping that tonight he works his way back out and we can get a shot at him. We actually bought an old used farm trailer in Iowa and hauled it over here and got our redneck on a trailer stand mounted up midday today. And so we were able to come out here and get this set up where we wanted. And now we're hunting. It's about 6 o'clock. We got 2.5 hours to go. It's 89 degrees with the southeast wind, so about 10 degrees cooler than last weekend. There's a front blowing through tonight, pressure's on the rise. High tomorrow's like 83, so pretty decent conditions. And hopefully Chief shows up and hasn't rubbed his velvet off. What do you think?
I'm really excited, and hopefully I get something. I'd really like to get Chief.
Let's get it done.
That sunset's pretty. The clouds look good.
See him right there. Yep. I don't think it's Chief. See, look, just don't. Okay, he's calmed down. He's walking to the right. Pretty close, okay, so you can just do mid-body, okay. Can you see him there? Sorry, Dad. Whenever you're ready, take it. Hold on, we're gonna stop him, okay? Hold on. Deep breaths, Bella, you're doing great. Yeah, just take your time, buddy. Just follow up the offside leg. Shoot him when you're ready. Good. I think he's hurt pretty bad. Put another shell in. He's going down. He's going down, Bella. He smoked him, Bella. Let's go! Oh, Bella. Just like that.
I was so nervous because the last time with JT, it was just...
No, you made a great shot, obviously. I mean, he's already dead.
I went up the offside leg, but then I moved a little and I did like kind of middle but a little lower.
Yeah.
And I tried to do the one hair thing. It's a little hard for me.
You did perfect. He's already dead. You did perfect. And you did it by yourself. You did it by yourself.
I'm so glad.
You got a buck down.
Yes.
You got a buck down in Kansas. Tag filled.
Hi guys, I just got my first Kansas buck and it was really nerve-wracking. I was really nervous because it was the same scenario as JT and the rain got us last time, so I was just really nervous and I didn't want to make, I don't know, like a back shot, but he went down, like he just stumbled and went down.
He made a perfect shot. He didn't go 20. It's really interesting, you know, we've had a camera down in this draw and it had seemed like deer were coming from this direction. We were down to the last 15 minutes probably, which with 90-degree temps, 89-degree temps, we were expecting kind of last-minute movement. And I looked over and there he was, and he was just crossing the ridge, heading in, and you could hear Bella's heart beating. Yeah. I mean, you made a great shot. He didn't go far at all. He went down, and it's worked out. We got a buck on the ground, and
yeah.
I'm excited to go look at it.
Me too.
I think that one in the ditch is where he ran. Not the big one.
Oh, found him.
That's the 9 with the tips that almost touch. This is one of the ones we were trying to get after. Nice job, honey.
This is my first Kansas buck and I'm super pumped. He didn't go far and we walked right on him, and I'm really happy that I got a buck after our slow hunts.
As Bella mentioned, we walked right up on him. He was right where we thought we saw him fall over. Pretty cool to be one of the ones that we were actually kind of had on the list. And obviously Bella made a great shot. It was something she's been struggling with a little bit, her confidence level, even though she's a great shot. After last year with JT, that's kind of stuck with her, and you heard her talking about that right after she shot. We were just examining him when we walked up, and he was absolutely perfect. Came out the front shoulder there, and obviously didn't go very far. So super happy to be successful here in Kansas during youth season, and next weekend is youth season in Iowa. So we'll see if Bella can't double up here in September before any of us even go hunting.
I hope you enjoy the show. Thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail.
Mike and Bella's trip to Kansas may have ended on a high note with a great hunt and buck, but it's the core memories created and life lessons learned with the entire Reed family in Kansas that will last a lifetime. While Mike and Bella make the drive east with Iowa's youth season in their sights, Owen Riegler is in the middle of a hunting trip of his own. Leaving the war room of catching up to the Loch Ness Monster behind for a few days, Owen is in Colorado spending time with great friend Chuck Johnson.
Night number 1, here we are. We saw, I think, 3 elk. Wasn't it 3 elk? Probably a dozen muleys. This is Chuck Johnson from Kilo Terra. I'm hanging out with an old-time friend here, and he's making dinner. See what we got going here. Check this out.
You can't see it. It's Mountain House in a bag. Chicken fried rice.
Yeah, buddy. Living the high life out here. Yes.
Eventually leaving Chuck behind to keep hunting, Owen shifts his attention to new country and the main reason he's come west. Arriving to the same land he hunted many years ago with his dad, the memories begin to flood in.
It's like coming home after all these years. I remember everything like it was yesterday. That's one of the things about hunting that I love is, you know, you look so forward to it, and for me in particular, I loved it so much that I remember every little detail. Like everything is etched in my mind like stone. It's just crazy to come back and remember all this. Well, as you can see, finally got out of the area way back in the middle of nowhere. We got caught in the rain back there, but the trip has just been therapeutic. I can't really describe. If you haven't been out here before, it's like you just feel so alive. It's like, this is kind of what I live for. You're just in God's country. You know, I feel like where I live in Iowa, I'm in God's country. Then you come out here and it's a whole nother level. So it's been a lot of fun. I know some of you guys are waiting for that Loch Ness monster buck. Catch you on the next one.
Exchanging the mountains for fields, Owen picks up right where he left off, finishing up his whitetail to-do list. With nothing left to do but patiently wait on opening day, Owen shoots his bow, dreaming of the hopeful moment. 190 miles to the northeast of Owen, September 17th arrives with northerly winds in tow, and Bella Reed is gearing up for the afternoon hunt.
Hey guys, it's Sunday, September 17th. It is the second day of Iowa's youth season. We actually made it out yesterday afternoon here at the home farm. We hunted up by the cherry tree, but had a very, very slow hunt. Didn't actually see any deer while we were in the blind. We did have pictures of Big Mac there, but anyway, he was a no-show. So today, we have a north-northeast wind, and we've moved this redneck blind down to the bottom end, or the south end of this 2-acre bean plot. Bella shot the Big 8 here back in 2021. This year, her primary target is definitely Big Mac. And we're re-strategizing a little bit on how we're hunting him. This year, we'd like to try to focus as much time as we can on the home farm. I don't think we would pass one of the other 5-year-olds out here, but last couple years, we've been focused on trying to hunt him in late muzzy. And he's been shedding right around Christmas time, so we end up not getting a chance at him because he sheds his antlers too early. So we're hoping he shows up tonight. What do you think?
I'm really excited, and at the same time, I definitely wouldn't hesitate to shoot a big buck, but I really want to kill Big Mac. Like, really, really want to kill him.
Yeah.
He evaded me last year. He won't do it again.
It is about 75 degrees. We have about 2.5 hours to go, so we're gonna get quiet and see if one of these bucks is gonna show up on these beans. Here, all melt it together until these are good.
I don't like the orange flavor. I never do.
Here, why don't you take a look?
I can't see it.
Take a look and then try to envision where the leg goes down. Going right at the top of the beans or just below the top of the beans. There's some deer up on the hill, but it's like... Take him there so many times. Oh, there's a buck. There's a good buck. There's a buck. Okay, one is the crab claw buck and the other one might be the loppy buck. You see him right there. I mean, that's an older buck, right? I can't tell. I just don't remember the pictures. We should probably shoot him. He's like at least a 6-year-old. Want to try to shoot him? You can see him. You can see all of his vitals right there. Right in the shoulder. This way. Just stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him. Okay. Just wait. Just wait. I can't go any farther. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, that was a pretty cool encounter. That was probably like the 2 of our best bucks that we've seen so far. At first we couldn't really decide who he was, and then my dad was like, hey, that's Droopy. I got him in the scope, but then I saw the beans were really, really tall. In the end though, he made the decision for us and he fled the plot.
As Bella alluded to, we couldn't quite tell which buck it was when they first came out. I thought it was Droopy. You can hear in the video I was calling him Loppy, but Anyway, we named him Droopy a couple years ago because that right ear is broken. It kind of droops and hangs. We were waiting for him to get down to the scrape where you could see his entire body, and she was just being patient, wanting to make an ethical shot. He didn't like something, and they just got out of the field. It was fun to see some good bucks on the hoof out early in the plot, and we're gonna stick after him. You know, tomorrow is Monday. We got the wind switching out of the south, and so we're gonna be able to go sit that bottom plot where we wanna get after Big Mac. I think that's our best chance of getting after him and try to get Bella the buck she's really looking forward to getting.
And hopefully we can get him down.
Yeah.
Well, it's Monday, September 18th, and Bella and I have just slipped back out to the home farm along with Rye, and we're sitting in the spot we've been wanting to sit for the last few days. We finally got the wind to switch back out of the south. This bottom's a little bit difficult to hunt because of swirling winds. I don't normally spend time down here, but we put this brassica plot in. This is the monster buck brassica mix, and then I'm overseeded some radishes kind of out in the center of it. And it's just a nice, secluded plot, butts right up against the bedding area. It's nice and cool, and the deer tend to come out in daylight right here. Not only is this secluded near the bedding area, but we also have a soybean field right here to my right. We've also got a big apple tree loaded with apples and a bunch of white oaks dropping acorns. So there's really everything they could possibly want. We actually got a picture of Big Mac last night up at the cherry tree where we hunted on Saturday. It was actually this morning at 5:55 in the morning, going back to bed. And that's where the last picture we got of him was. He's, that was probably a week ago. I think he's really hanging out in that bowl and in all that standing corn. But when he goes in there to bed, he has a pretty good chance of coming out into these brassicas. So it's cool to see him. He still is big and healthy, looks great. And we're counting on him popping up into here. Excited to be out. Bella went to school all day. I worked at the office. Mom picked him up at school, dropped him off at my office, got homework done. I wrapped up my work day, and then we slipped out to the home farm. So fingers crossed we can make it happen tonight.
Yeah. Do it.
Let's. Wait. Just wait. He's right here, okay? There's no need to rush. Just take your time. We're gonna wait till he turns. Take some deep breaths and just relax. He's gonna ease out in the food plot to eat, okay? So he's just gonna hang out. Just follow up that back leg. Go either right in the middle or just below middle. He's close enough. And go right mid-body when he turns, okay? And we're gonna wait till he stops, okay? Whenever you're ready. Yeah, yes, you shot him in the heart.
You sure?
He just went down. It's unbelievable. It worked. Monday.
I saw a twitch and I was like, that's a buck.
And all I could see, you're the farthest to the left, so that little bush is in front of us. And I could just see that it was a good buck. Before I picked up the binos, he picked up his head, and the ends of his beams are kind of asymmetric. And so even without the binos, I was like, that's Big Mac. Dude, I think all of us were breathing heavy, man.
This blind was shaking.
He's down. Big Mac is down.
I'm so happy for you. I don't even know what to say, dude. I mean, 5 years of history with that deer. We gotta call Mama.
Dude.
Dude, I cannot believe it.
Hi.
I shot Big Mac! Woohoo! Big Mac, 2 hours of daylight left. 2! When does that happen?
So exciting. Multi-year quest completed.
Woo! Woo!
You see all the blood?
Oh my god.
That is a good...
Look at that.
What do you think, little girl?
I cannot believe this.
So excited for you.
He made us work so hard the last couple of years. And it's like,
Day 3.
is this even happening?
September 18th.
Okay, where did you go?
Look at all this. I think he just bulldozed, right? You see all the bushes are broken?
Oh, I see him. There.
Let's take the trail.
Por favor.
He lives up to his name. Bella.
Wow.
What did you do?
Huge.
See if you have the strength to lift that head.
He's humongous.
Seriously. Look at the body.
Oh my gosh.
A day to remember.
See if you can move him. Been working out.
Look at her go!
Get him in the field. You got it.
Briar bushes.
Who needs help?
She's dragging a 250-pound whitetail right now.
Well, we killed Big Mac. We have 5 years of history with this deer. I've been after him for 3. Finally killed him. We had 2 hours of daylight left. And I'm just so pumped. I mean, this is Big Mac. He's a monster of a buck. And I've been chasing him for 3 years.
He's really been a legend on this farm. There's not many deer you get 5 years of history with. And I just can't say enough. I'm so proud of you. We've talked a lot over the years about staying focused when your opportunity arises. And she got that gun shouldered and got down in that scope and just stayed in the scope and knew that he needed to turn. And she was telling me he's quartering away slightly, he's doing this, he's doing that. We were talking about the range. And I mean, she just was just laser focused. And I mean, look at this, perfect heart shot. He didn't go 50 yards. I just couldn't be more pumped. And the history with this deer, I bought this farm in 2019 rolled around, and he was like 140 inch, 135 inch, 8-point, big bodied. I thought he was at least a 4-year-old. And 2021, Ryan and I were hunting chubs, and we had a bunch of good encounters with him. At that time, I had him at about 6.5 years, came in bow range a few times. Last year, late Muzzy, she dedicated another 9-day cycle, 9 days in 2021, 9 days in 2022. They filmed him once at a distance, her and Rye, while I was at work one afternoon after Christmas. and he shed again early. So this year we came in here with a different plan. Let's try to focus on him during youth, and if we can't get him in youth, we'd focus on him during shotgun, but before he has a chance to shed. And then all that work over the years, all that patterning, and it all comes together, and she made a great shot, made it count, and here we are sitting behind a legend of a buck. I could not be more excited. Bella's got 2 bucks down so far for 2023, and she's saying, what am I gonna do now? So we're gonna refocus on some of the brothers and sisters. Bryn, her 8-year-old sister's very interested, and we're getting excited for the opening of the archery season, and like I said, I couldn't be more proud.
Well, that photo says everything you need to know about why we're on the truck ride all the way to eastern Iowa. It's about a 2-hour drive. You know, I would not miss it for the world. We don't get to do these recoveries and celebrations enough. She continues to kick off a heck of a season for the whole team, and we'll be over there shortly.
Pretty awesome. All came together. And then he didn't grow like a normal brow on that side this year. Like, what he's gonna do? And then it was one of those moments where it's like, okay, all right, hold on. Everybody take a deep breath. Let's slow down. The blind was shaking. We were all shaking so much.
Bella Reed isn't the only Midwest Whitetail team member trying to create a September to remember. 875 miles to the east in the state of Maryland, team member Joey Eiler is heading in to hunt a brand new stand on a recently acquired permission farm with multiple bucks in the area.
I just air-raid Reggie. I can't believe it. My first buck in 8 years. Patience finally paid off. Let's go, baby. So what happened? I just aired Reggie is what happened, son. Did you? Yeah. 25 yards. Attaboy. That's old Reggie, Don. What a deer. Well, guys, the story ended on Reggie. Every time I go hunting, my mom passed away 2 years ago. And every time I go hunting, I always talk to her while I'm in the stand. And I said last night when I jumped in the stand, I said, do your thing, Mom, and bring either Reggie or Wide Load into me. And sure enough, both of them came in. So luck was definitely on my side, and I hope we can keep this season rolling.
I really enjoy hunting because, one, I get to spend time with my family, and two, I get to see where we get our food from, and everyone else at this time, they're all like makeup and sports, and I'm like, let's go outside. Let's go be in nature.
The trip has just been therapeutic. I can't really describe. If you haven't been out here before, it's like you just feel so alive. It's like this is kind of what I live for. You're just in God's country. I know some of you guys are waiting for that Loch Ness Monster buck. Catch you on the next one.
Every time I go hunting, my mom passed away 2 years ago. And every time I go hunting, I always talk to her while I'm in the stand. And luck was definitely on my side, and I hope we can keep this season rolling.
Like watching our favorite home videos from when we were kids, the events brought to us in the first few weeks of September remind us that while big bucks are great, the essence of hunting lies in family, friends, and the outdoors. Unmatched are the lessons passed down in both woodsmanship and life that can only be found in the woods. Mounts will fade, but memories will live on forever to be cherished time and time again. Luckily for us, the path in front of our team holds the potential to create both new adventures and potential to hunt some of the biggest deer we've ever seen. With the months of preparation fading in the rearview mirror, the time to breathe and embrace each moment arrives. Our world is on the brink of transformation, and we embrace it wholeheartedly. The long-awaited day is nearly upon us. The day we will be chasing November. Fresh off the adrenaline spike provided by Bella Reed's epic evening on the 18th, our team's attention only gets sharper. Opening day in Iowa looms in the distance, and there is no shortage of anticipation for what is coming. Each year we get the opportunity to head to the field chasing this adventure as a blessing, but this year is special. Tyler Bellman and Justin Lubrecht have put their best foot forward all summer long, working overtime to get food planted on BBA. And though the rains have been minimal, no-till proves its worth with deer on the fields every night. So far though, the duo have chosen not to hunt, with the heat continuing to linger and many bucks still missing that called the property home last season. All of that changes the day following Bella Reed's triumph when the #1 buck on Justin's mind returns. Velveeta, nicknamed for the multiple years of velvet sticking on his antlers well into the season, is alive. If his range is anything like the prior season, Justin and Tyler have a plan. Back in Iowa, my outlook on the newly acquired Permission Farm couldn't be any better. Up to this point, the wide 6x5 and drop tine buck have consumed my every thought as I try to speed scout and develop a plan for opening day. Add now to that excitement a giant mainframe 9 with brow tines that tower over any other buck roaming the woods. With only intuition and Onyx to go off of, I too must make a plan. My Cuddyback camera wasn't the only one to light up with a beacon of good news. Over in eastern Iowa, Zach Rosmus went into the summer having drawn up a play with hopes of relocating a great buck he encountered the previous season, that at the time he knew as young stud.
No way.
Draw up the play, execute the plan, and wait. The price of admission was well worth it, and the buck now known as Whopper ranges through, marking a scrape tree in the newly established Monster Buck green plot. "45 miles to the northwest of Zach, Caleb Griner is doing everything he can do to have the season of a lifetime. With the last intel on the massive giant known as Lucky coming in the middle of August, Caleb heads to a nearby property with a multitude of historical and current reasons to be excited.
All right, camera 3. Go into the link menu. 3. Make sure it's got level. There's a vine scrape right here. There's a deer. Look at this deer that's past the vine scrape. Just put its head up. See it? Where she's at, actually, where she's laying down. This used to be a food plot. This is the same field that I killed that tripod deer out of. I've had a lot of really good encounters though out of this stand, this pin oak over here. And we're just getting cameras put up. We checked a couple so far. These are Rye's cameras. Rye's on this farm with me this year. He ran cameras on it last year, and in exchange of him running cameras, he's gonna hunt this. He's trying to hunt the Type 10, and obviously if any of those other deer, like the beasts or the non-typicals, were to show up, I'd be mad at him if he didn't shoot at them. All right, we got plenty of signal. Heck yeah. Check this out. This is the stuff where I planted. Look how good it's coming up, dude. Dude, let's FaceTime him. Look at it. It's all throughout here. Sick. I mean, it's nothing special, but like, we can get a stand right there in that walnut. It's nothing special, but look at all this. I mean, this is a great example of something you guys can do. You Permission Farms. We had a bunch of deer damage, a bunch of coon damage and deer damage in through this corn. You can see it, it's just all knocked down. And Ray came in here, broadcasted, what's that mix? Can't remember off the top of my head what mix he did, but one of the Monster Buck mixes that is specialized for coming in and broadcasting into standing crops. Well, it's coming up awesome. Sweet, that's gonna be money.
While Caleb wraps up his work on the river farm, that same day, 117 miles to the southwest, Owen Riegler is gearing up for his most aggressive play on the world-class buck known as the Loch Ness Monster yet.
So as far as we're going, we'll carry it from here. We're gonna slip in here, get our work done, and get out. Because I know he's using this right here during daylight. And I'm pretty sure he's been real close to this, so we gotta have one more set for an east wind. That's the only one I don't have a set for, so that's what we're doing today. The things you do for a deer, I'm telling you. Much to my surprise, this Loch Ness buck is daylighting right here in this plot. It's the first time I've ever had a daylight pattern on him on any year. He's walking out right over there, so we're gonna try and pop something up right here, see if we can get an east wind stand. It's a big plot, it's almost 2 acres. Makes it a little tougher to get him pinched down where you want him, but we'll be in the game at least. Been dreaming my whole life of this deer.
The view up there is unbelievable. The lush green plot. When he steps out, it's going to be magical. So
we are hoping that's the case. Yes. Hoping no one can make a shot on a little bitty buck. I'm trying to psych myself up. Just, you know, I've said before, these big old bucks, they put on their fur one leg at a time like all the 6-year-old bucks, so he's not invincible. Ooh, that sucker's sharp too. That's a Jim Dandy there. Thank you. This is some of that monster buck we planted right here. It's got purple top in it, radish, soybeans, kale, crimson clover, and there was a little alfalfa here to start with, so that's what's here. And I was hoping this Loch Ness buck would find this, and he did. He found it and he's on it, so I like our odds right now. Pretty pumped up about it. We got the stand hung, just putting the finishing touches on the camera stand. And we're gonna slip out of here. Be back on October 1st. Yes.
With the board set for a showdown with the buck of a lifetime, all Owen can do now is keep shooting his bow and wait on the sideline until the match kicks off in Iowa. While Owen waits, not everybody is in his position. That same evening, 226 miles to the south of Owen, longtime team members Corey and Monica Wolf are gearing up for a highly anticipated evening hunt, and for good reason.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's September the 20th, Corey and my anniversary. We've had lots of luck in the past, so I'm really pumped about not only that, but the weather has been nice. We had a cool front come through. Not just that, but Corey saw some nice bucks over here in the soybean field where we're going to hunt. You can't see it from the county road, so seems like tonight's the night. We'll check it out.
20. Meh. Just take your time. Get another arrow. I don't think that was a good shot.
No. This stupid
I
thing
know.
was in my way.
Sorry.
Terrible.
I know it wasn't a great shot.
I've never shot so terrible. I just don't know how I shot so far to the left.
I think
because he was angling that way.
You were in a bind.
I was trying to compensate for this stupid thing, I think.
Hey, bad shots happen. It happens.
That sucks. That sucks that I messed it up.
Hey, bad shots happen. What matters is how we react to our bad shots, okay? We gotta give the deer some time.
So we watched the footage, and it looks like I may have hit the femoral artery, and he was bleeding pretty good. We're gonna go check for blood before it gets too dark and go from there.
Well, it's 5:15. Next morning after Monica shot her buck. We have a busy day, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started trying to find her buck. I did trail a little bit last night because I like I said, I thought she hit the femoral artery. After a while, it was pretty obvious she had not. So I tracked on just little pin drops of blood for about, Onyx says 250 yards, somewhere in there. And then I found huge globs of blood everywhere. And then I could see her lighted knock across the valley over here. So I'm coming in a different way and just gonna, while it's dark, try and find her lighted knock. So that is the plan. I'm gonna go see if I can't turn up her buck.
Smelled something dead. Not what I was looking for. Yep, dead. Man, he's sweet. He's a sweet buck. He is sweet, Monica.
I know.
He is big, Monica. Yes! Found him. I could see a lighted knock last night. I could not find it back this morning. I walked right by him in the dark. I'm not saying I would have found him this morning in the daylight right away. I would have had to retrail him. But he got up from his bed last night and he moved about 40 yards from that pin. I'm gonna get him gutted at the very least. Field trip starts in 2 hours. So, and they're not gonna move the field trip for me. It's only 65 kids. So anyway, we found him. I'm so pumped.
So here he is, our anniversary buck. He made his appearance last weekend when Corey was hunting by himself in the soybean field, and sure enough, my husband knew where to hang the stand. Here he is. I'm so excited that my mother-in-law volunteered to watch our boys so that I could get out in the woods, and so thankful for my husband for hanging the stand, for recovering this deer, and for making hunting so much fun.
Corey said it best. Bad shots happen. What matters most is how we react. For most of you watching, you could agree it's not a matter of if a hunter will be in Monica's shoes, but when. Process the information at hand, be patient in your approach, and show persistence to the end. You might just find yourself like Monica, sitting behind your largest buck to date. 2 days later, back in Iowa, Caleb is at it again. This time, he's out with Steve, a landowner turned friend who gave Caleb permission to hunt in the summer of 2022.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
We all saw how the chase for the pearly white antlered buck Hog Jr. went, and now it's time to execute the next phase of the plan to give back to Steve for the opportunity. If you forgot, that plan is to help Steve punch a tag on the growing legend known as guards.
Comfortable, but he'll have a lot better shot opportunity here. Let's say if we have a stand that's there, and we have a south wind, the wind's gonna be blowing back behind us, so everything in front of us, we're gonna be safe.
The other one I thought of last night.
Don't you think kind of like this a little bit? We'll still have to get a pole saw. I'm sure we're gonna have to cut some of those. I don't think you could reach the bucket that high.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think we need to go back this way to get level, bro.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a killing tree.
With multiple stand locations set overlooking the Rut Greens plot, Caleb ends the day with a surprise gift for Steve, his Hoyt Carbon RX-5. Having already ended one story on this property, attention turns to the future to see if history will repeat itself once again. While Caleb and Steve fine-tune their shooting, 50 miles to the north, another member of the Reed clan is hoping to cash in on her already executed practice. Bryn, Mike's youngest daughter, has decided she wants to go hunting after watching big sister Bella tag a buck the week before.
Well, it is September 23rd, and we are back out at the home farm. We're in the same blind that Bella shot Big Mac out of, and Bryn's up to bat. Bryn is 8 years old. She's in the 3rd grade, and she shot her first deer 2 years ago, late season with the crossbow. She shot a big doe, and last year we talked a lot about coming out, but never made it out. Every time it came time to practice, she had something else to do, and so I have a rule that we got to practice if we're going to go hunting, and so last year we never made it out, but this year she's been very interested in going, and we've been practicing a bunch. She shot the 22 and the 17 quite a bit, and then she shot 4 shots out of the 350 today. 2 at 50 yards and 2 at 100 yards, and hit the bullseye. So shooting good. We shoot the lighter caliber guns just to get used to target acquisition, getting a good sight picture with no black in the scope, keeping your eye on the target, all those types of things without worrying about recoil or the noise. And she's been having a lot of fun shooting, and we're excited to be out here. It's a little warm. It's 82 degrees, and we have a southeast wind, so this really is our only spot to come sit. This spot sets up really nice for early season, as we talked about in Bella's hunt. We've got the brassica plot here, a bunch of turnips and radishes, super lush. Down along the creek, there's water. It's nice and cool, and it's tucked up into the bedding area, so a lot of times it's the first area the deer come. We want to hunt that bottom bean plot where Droopy came out last weekend, but the wind's not good for that, so we decided to come back here, and Droopy could show up here. We also have a mature 8-pointer, and then the buck that I was trying to get Bryn to shoot 2 years ago.
It's Finn.
Sven, that's right.
Finn, not Swin.
I can't say that animal's name. What's Sven's name in Frozen?
Sven.
Sven. You gotta say the S a little bit.
Sven. Sven.
It's Finnish.
Finish.
Bryn's ready to go. Bella's here to cheer Bryn on and help her with any questions she might have. We're gonna sit back, enjoy the hunt. We have 2.5 hours to go, and hopefully Bryn can get her first buck. Hey Bryn, I think we should wait a little while. Is that okay?
Please, he's in a good angle.
Yeah, they're all he's licking. That's right. You see how he's facing us a little too much? Yeah. When he turns sideways, he'll go up the back of the leg and shoot him right in the middle of the body. Take some patience. Stay ready. Stay ready. Okay, you ready? You ready? Right on the shoulder. I think so. Look at him.
Where is he?
He's running right there. Let's see what he does. I see him. I see him. I think he just went down right there. He might have gone over the hill. I'm not quite sure.
I saw where the shoulder was.
You followed up his leg and then went mid-body. Good. He mule kicked. He kicked really hard back behind him. You had to be so patient. You had to wait. He was facing us. You had to sit there. And it took a lot of patience, huh? So we just looked at the footage, and the shot looks back as far as I can tell on the LCD screen on the camera. I did see him stop up on the hill there. He ran up there with his tail tucked. I thought I saw him go down, but then I saw his rack again, so I think he was just standing there in the brush. And then I think he made it over the hill, which that's the center of the property. It's supposed to get cool tonight, and obviously there's no point in going and pushing him and jumping him and all that good stuff. So a little bit of a dampener on our excitement, but it happens to the best of us. So we're gonna get back to the house and check the shot and make a decision.
I shot him in the belly, so I don't think that's good.
Yeah, it's not what we tried to do, but we're gonna go look at it and see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He'll be okay.
Well, we just got back out to the farm. It's about 9:15, so it's been 3 hours since the hit, and we're able to get home and take a look at the computer and watch the hit back a few times. She actually hit right where she was aiming. The deer moves his leg forward, and she just didn't adjust with the leg moving forward. And the impact is right there. So it's back of right lung and liver. And it's certainly going to be a dead deer. Hopefully we can recover him tonight. We're going to go take a peek. We had a little bit of rain come through. We're not going to tear up the whole place tonight, but go look right there, see if we see any blood, then maybe just take a little look around. Hopefully he's laying right there.
He ran right up the hill here. You see the blood? See the blood right here? That's a lot of blood. I think we're gonna find him.
Oh my God, my ears stopped. I got it. I found. Oh my gosh. Yes.
He didn't go anywhere. Can I get a high five?
Oh yeah.
You got him. What do you think, little lady?
Wow, that's a huge deer.
That's a huge deer, Rye.
Hello, I found the buck.
Wow.
Yeah, he's in a big bush of thorns, so that was very challenging for us.
That is a challenge.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you for your dedication to this, friend. This is so great.
Yep.
We'll see you when we get home.
Love you.
Come on,
Love you too.
Bye.
Well, here he is. This is the crab claw buck on the home farm. We filmed him last year a couple times. Made a nice jump this year, great looking buck. And we weren't sure which buck was gonna show up in this brassica plot tonight, but certainly the odds were in our favor that one of the good ones would show up. And it was fun to have Bryn in the blind. She didn't hunt last year, and this year she was anxious to go. We had big sister Bella in the blind to help coach her along. In fact, the second this buck showed himself. Bill was like, "Get ready, Bryn, that's a shooter." And it's pretty fun to witness all that. And of course, the shot, we were a little concerned in the blind. Like I mentioned on the recovery, I mean, he didn't go 10 yards past where we had last seen him. I just wanted to err on the side of caution. We had a little bit of rain in the forecast. I didn't want to bump him. He was stiff as a board when we walked up to him, so I don't think he lived very long. And just a really cool buck. Another great buck out here on the home farm. What do you think, Bryn?
Yeah, I think this is a big buck, and we have had a good night today.
That's right. Well, we can't understate the power of a solid green food source this time of year. You know, that monster buck brassica plot topped with extra dose of radishes. This bottom plot, it's hidden away next to the bedding area. It's cool, you got the water in the creek there. All the beans are turning yellow and defoliating, and man, that is a hot spot. So 2 sits down there and 2 mature bucks.
Time and time again, hunts like Bryn's reinforce a point that's been driven home more times in a car rounding the oval at your favorite racetrack. Food is king. Palatable forage packed with attractive nutritional value paired with a location tight to bedding is the ultimate recipe and worth every ounce of sweat to create, if you can. In some cases, this tactic simply isn't an option, and other strategies must be deployed. The following day, Caleb continues his September push to ensure he's prepared to chase the once-in-a-lifetime buck known as Lucky.
All right, so we're on the Lucky farm today. Yesterday we were wrapping some stuff up with Steve. So today we came in here to the Lucky farm. We actually did pull cards. Lucky was here on the 7th. He's a little further back, so it looks like he's a little smaller, but still, I think that's him. Not 100% sure. There's a lot of crops that are starting to come out right now, so hopefully he starts to get back in here, because this is the most cover that's in here. But the one thing I have noticed about these deer that live out in the small draws or out in the open flats, it seems like their ranges extend more to that 8 miles, sometimes even in a radius. So it's pretty crazy how far these deer travel. We're gonna let Lucky lay low until he just shows up. Season's right around the corner. I'm pumped about it. Wow, that's dry. This could be like the missing piece of the puzzle.
All Caleb can do now is wait and see if he truly has located the missing piece to find Lucky back. At this very moment, 6 full days stand between the bow hunters of Iowa and opening day. While most of us await the calendar page to flip, Caleb goes against the grain and seeks out a different opportunity. That comes in the form of a lead provided by Midwest Whitetail intern Shay McTighe, who knows somebody in Northeast Ohio where a special CWD zone is currently open for hunting.
All right, Seamus and I just made it to Ohio. What was the drive? Probably 8 hours.
Yeah, probably 8 hours.
Probably 8 hours from home. I wanted to get here so we can scout first thing tomorrow morning. So hopefully we can see some deer coming back into the woods tomorrow morning for feeding. Maybe we can get on a deer. Here's the split of the alfalfa. 3 rubs right here. 3 good rubs. They're probably transitioning from bedding, which is probably where those deer ran. It's probably where the bucks are, the safest, most secluded spot. And they're probably working out, eating down acorns. That's their transition into the destination hag, which is the corn. Just mark it like this for now. That should be perfect, honestly. Right in there. Just an inch to the right. Let's roll. Day 1, we were in Ohio.
we're in a special unit in Ohio where we're allowed to hunt earlier than the regular archery season due to the CWD zone that we're in. I'm pumped to be in a tree, especially it's my first time in a tree before October 1st, so leaves are falling, acorns are dropping everywhere. I'm grinning ear to ear. We've got an acorn flat right in front of us, and in that flat's where we saw this sign today. We threw a couple tracks out. We'll see how it goes. Ohio, here we go. It's probably like a 2-year-old. Well, that's gonna wrap up the first sit of the year. Overall, really good sit. The deer were doing pretty much what we kind of expected them to do coming out of the corn. Munching on the acorns, we saw a good amount of bucks, actually. Probably try and get back in here tomorrow morning.
The following day, 625 miles back to the west, I'm just arriving home from a trip to Missouri visiting the Redneck Hunting Blinds headquarters. Both the Big 9 and Drop Tine are showing consistent activity near the apple tree, a now notable location on the Big Bird property.
Well, good morning. It is September 27th, and as we told you last night, we were going to be out putting that hay bale blind on the Big Bird farm today for the Drop Tine 10-pointer, but clearly that did not happen. And the reason why is I was checking Onyx here before we got on the road and noticed that, and this is just a tool that maybe folks who have Onyx aren't using, this optimal wind selection. I've got this set for a southeast wind on that blind pin. It actually let me know that we got north winds today. And so ultimately decided we were not gonna go in there. There's no point to blow our wind right into this bedroom that I think our target buck is using. And though it is a very active part on the farm, I mean, pretty much every single day, the landowner is coming through here. You know, I've mentioned that he's got honeybees, he's maintaining his native stands, he's planting trees. It's, you know, it definitely makes sense why these deer are using this property, and it's something I cannot take credit for. Going back to why we're using this redneck hay bale blind, long story short, we don't get access to any of the trees around this particular location. And more importantly, there's a native stand, like I've mentioned multiple times. That's what makes up this farm. So on this mode path that the farmer uses to get around, I think we're gonna be in a good spot putting the hay bale blind on the west side, first and foremost, because if we're hunting this deer in the afternoons, I don't wanna be on a different spot that could silhouette us. You know, if we were facing the west, that could light us up, any sort of movement could be enhanced. So we should be blacked out pretty dang good. The other aspect is our access is a little bit cleaner. We don't have to cross this path where I'm expecting these deer to come out. And then finally, you know, I mean, it's gonna give us a 15 to 20 yard shot. So, you know, this buck has been coming out quite often. One interesting observation is that when he does, it's always pretty much in the daylight. So I think that despite opening day, you know, again, talking about Onyx features, I know we're getting a little heavy here, just talking about the app over and over, but something else I use it for is looking at the weather. You know, we've got a full week's forecast ahead, and as you can tell, less than ideal. You know, we're talking high 90s consistently all the way through the 4th, but in this situation, you know, here's a buck walking pretty often. I think that based on how much damage we're not going to do walking in and getting out, we're gonna hunt it. You know, I probably wouldn't do that in a different scenario if I was having to get aggressive and dive into the bedroom, for lack of a better term, but it's a pretty unorthodox setup. It's certainly not the place that I would have made my prediction we would be hunting a big deer come opening day, but hopefully things go smooth tomorrow. We can get that set up and we'll be in there opening day.
While I continue to strategize for drop time, back in Ohio, Caleb is wrapping up another full morning of speed scouting and shooting his bow in preparation for his second hunt of the trip.
All right, we just got set up. We moved the stand earlier today about probably 100 yards. The first day yesterday when we came in here and scouted, we put a camera up right below me, and as we were putting that camera up, there's just a load of sign. And for some reason, they're really using this creek bed that wraps up around us. And there's trails galore in there, but there's so many acorns that have gathered in there. Last night, we got a mature buck feeding with that little 8-point that came in here. There's some good bucks in the area. I told Shay this feels like a killer set. I think we'll get an opportunity tonight. They're running, chasing each other. Ohio is not disappointing. I mean, what do you know it? Shay says, big buck. I turn around. I mean, there's a good buck. It looked like a 4-year-old. I want to say it's a little dark in here. I couldn't judge him that great. My goal is just a mature deer, but he was a good buck. Oh man, I'm pumped. We're probably leave this set here. We're going home to Iowa. I will be back soon, hopefully really soon.
It's about 2 a.m. We are trucking back, making good time too, but we got about an hour left. We gotta get some stuff done back in southern Iowa. Lo and behold, we were driving and Shay was passed out. I woke him up. I was too excited. We got pictures of a buck that I'm really familiar with, deer that I call OG. Back when Lucky was 3, he was I believed he was mature, so that makes him a 9.5-year-old this fall. Looks like a really good buck. Things are gonna get dicey this fall. I can't wait to see what happens.
I'm trying to psych myself up. Just, you know, I've said before, these big old bucks, they put on their fur one leg at a time like all the 6-year-old bucks, so he's not invincible.
Wow, that's dry. This could be like the missing piece of the puzzle.
Hello, I found the buck.
Wow! I'm so proud of you for your dedication to this, friend. This is so great.
That green is literally right here over my shoulder, and it really does look really good. I'm super impressed that that worked out. Just right up that edge. That would be ideal, wouldn't it?
It's been a fun day of getting this blind built. Where that drop down deer came up was down this path. There's water over here, there's standing corn. Hopefully these deer do it just for a few more days. One of those bucks steps out, we're gonna try to get it done. And can't appreciate Alex's help enough. I'm excited to kick off the season here.
The month of September came and went in the blink of an eye, stirring a wave of anticipation for the incoming season that surpassed our team's highest hopes. It's been 264 days since the bow hunters of Iowa have been on stand, and now a single sleep remains until buck tags morph into potential lottery winners. Though the weather forecast looks less than thrilling, our excitement doesn't waver. After all, at this point in time, nearly everyone on the team has a buck to chase, and chase we shall. Tomorrow the road to adventure begins again. The road to chasing November. For most of us, the past 9 months have been a waiting game that was filled with dreaming about the moment that's finally here, opening day of bow season. Through those months, our efforts were spent with friends and family paying attention to any detail that might prepare us for the adventure ahead, and now there's no going back. And why would we want to? Smack dab in the middle of the fall shift, at this point in time, our entire team has a buck or two consuming their every thought, adding fuel to the already hot fire that lights on October 1st. Unfortunately, though the day is full of excitement, the ability to look at the bigger picture is crucial. Just because there's a big buck to hunt doesn't mean today is the day to hunt him. Looking back at the first 2 episodes, not much has changed of what seemingly is the winning combination to tag an early season giant. Locate ninja-esque access and hunt the best available food or water source as tight to bedding as you can, and you just might be in the game. Not every property sets up that way, however, and with the resurgence of the massive buck known as OG, Caleb Greiner is holding out hope that Lucky may soon return. With intel that nearby crops are being harvested, Caleb devises a plan for the opening morning of Iowa's bow season.
Okay, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. Woke up about 3:30 this morning to get down here on time, and the neighbor to the south, where I only have permission just to run cameras, I can't hunt over there, they're cutting beans right now. Got a picture of them doing it the other night, and I think that with those beans being cut, I thought that those deer would be out there feeding first thing in the morning, and then we'd catch them coming back to the north. We just drove past there, and they're still out there. It looks like they're cutting beans still, and there was a truck out there that drove out by the combine, so I would think most of the deer are going to be pushed up to the north. So with that being said, I'm not safe to access it. I know all these deer are going to be pushed to the north, right on the property where we're trying to walk in, and I just do not want to risk spooking anything on this farm. I want it to stay as a sanctuary, so to say. I want these deer to feel safe. We might drive around first thing this morning, wait till first light, see if we can see Lucky. The last word that I got, someone might have seen him about 2 miles away, maybe to the west, and they were cutting beans, so might go on a permission hunt today. That's what we might end up doing. All right, we're getting to the Hollywood farm. We did not hunt this morning, like we said. We chose to drive around, saw a few does. I mean, kind of as we thought. It's gonna be really hot the next few days, so the buck movement's probably gonna be super minimal. If they are gonna move, they're gonna be super close to their beds. So probably gotta be within 100 to 150 yards from them. But I really thought that, I thought that this farm was gonna be really good about this time of year, the first week. And we got a northwest wind coming, which is perfect for this stand that I have, or at least a tree that I picked back here, but I think I need to get 2 steps on it, at least 2 more. So we're gonna go back, do that, put a couple cameras here, and then I'm gonna go knock on some doors and hopefully get some permission. So let's roll.
While Caleb does his best to locate one of the open country monarchs, the rest of our team observes the board to make a decision. Mike Reed's decision is easy. The hunt for DK is going to have to wait, as a full day of working the ER and being on call will keep him out of the woods.
Look good, flew straight.
Owen Riegler has earned the exact situation Caleb alluded to on his hunt for the Loch Ness Monster. Owen has a good idea where the buck likes to bed. He's the one who improved it over the years through various TSI practices. Tack on the lush monster buck green plot directly to the edge and it's a killer setup. Caution wins today with hot conditions, and Owen decides to play things safe with a bit better weather incoming in a few days.
Sure enough, got into the tree, but I still heard foam. Let's go see where we hit him. Unless you can zoom in from there.
I think Loch Ness is in trouble, guy.
Whoa, looks like I put it right in there. Yes.
The only person planning to make a move on a target buck is me. October 1st will forever be one of my favorite days, as my mind always drifts to the memory of tagging the velvet buck with one of my best friends, Caleb Greiner, in the tree with me. Conditions on that particular day were perfect, with high barometric pressure and crisp north winds. Simply put, we placed all the chips on the table that night, and it paid off in a big way that I'll never forget. Today, like everyone's pointed out, is the very opposite. Continuous heat has plagued us the past few days, but my particular situation with the Big 9 and drop time plays well into this circumstance. 2 big ponds nearby are the perfect food plot, and my strategy is simple. Wait as long as possible to make the hour-and-a-half drive and make the short walk to the recently placed redneck hay bale blind. 140 miles to the southeast, Zach Rosmus is heading to Area 52 with a busy year of work behind him. With the perfect location to hunt does, he arrives early with the task of hanging 2 stands ahead of him.
Alright guys, welcome to Midwest Whitetail, October 1st. First hunt of the season, and anticipation is really high. It's just good to be in a tree. This is a really cool spot down here in Area 52. We are set up on a clover plot that kind of is a transition to grain, and this is a spot that I transitioned into a clover plot right away on this farm. It was a food plot the very first year I bought it, and the clover looks really great. Kind of has a lot of things going for it. We got a green source, we got acorns on the ground in front of us, easy in and out, and could be a spot for doe management. But the other thing is too, there's been a kind of mature buck that's been showing up down here. He's been in the middle of the night, so nothing daylight yet, but you never know. I feel like I've been smiling all day because it just feels good to be out here, and it's a beautiful spot to kick off the 2023 season.
While Zach settles in overlooking the clover in front of him, 140 miles to the west, I'm hitting the road to head to the Big Bird farm.
Well, opening day here, October 1st, state of Iowa. Best of luck to everybody out in the woods tonight. It is a surreal feeling to know that we're going to be going after 2 awesome bucks this evening. And I think, like we've mentioned a couple of times now, despite this heat, I think we're in the game. We got food, we got water, we got cover, all really tight to this hay bale blind location. And we got a slight improvement from when we left the house. It was 93, it's now 91. But it's 5:18, definitely the latest I've ever gone in to sit opening day. But we've got a very short walk, and after talking it over with Alex, we really did not gain anything by going in early except the opportunity to sweat more. So very eager to see what the 23 bow season has in store. Hopefully, for some off-the-wall reason, one of these bucks wants to walk. Time will tell.
Well, we're getting set up here in the blind, and as best as we can tell, our wind is consistent. I am very excited to see what kind of deer movement we get into. My furthest shot is 27, closest is gonna be at 6, so it is toasty. We're sweating, we got 2 ozonics running, perfect wind. We're not gonna take any chances. And we're hopefully gonna learn something tonight. That's my main thing. We're gonna settle in here. Day number 1, Big Bird Farm. See what we get into. There goes a deer running. Drop time. Man, he's big, buddy. Can you see him over there? Yeah.
use your phone to film the does. As far as I can tell, he's still there. All right, well, it got real chaotic there at the end. We had that dang doe and her yearling come up, and they got all wiggy because I told Alex to try and film them, and his phone light turned on, and that was my bad. We shouldn't have done that, it was too dark. As soon as they got close, I looked back on that pond dam. Sure enough, I saw a big body. I look at Alex and I go, I bet that's him. And golly, he is a big deer. He went straight from that bottom into the pond. And there's a spot there I think we could potentially move this bail blind. Being a risky move, but golly, he was early. Our theory was close. I mean, I haven't had this deer on camera in like 6, 7, 8 days. But he's right there. He's in this little gap. And we gotta kill him before he gets out of there and moves on for the rut. So, insane night, October 1st, 90 degrees, encounter number 1 with the drop time. Season on, game on.
Back on stand with Zach, he's still waiting on his first deer sighting of the evening.
We have about 15-20 minutes left of legal shooting, and we were throwing around the skunk word for a little while. I was a little worried about it, that we were going to have first hunt skunk, but we just saw a doe about 120 yards out, so hopefully the action picks up a little bit here at last light. Really white rack on him. Hopefully it comes right in the plot. We get a good look at it. Cool. Coming into the plot. Let's just hang tight. Okay, tight. Okay.
Man, that got exciting there pretty quickly at the end. We'll review that and take a look. I think it was Pretzel, like when he came in, when he was standing out there for a while, I was having such a hard time because it was so dark identifying which buck it was, but man, when he came close, you could tell it was a big deer. So definitely an exciting way to kick off the season, and I'm itching to get right back in the tree. You know, it might fast track our timeline for this week. Maybe we can get out maybe Tuesday or Wednesday this week, but definitely be out for the cold front this coming weekend.
The following day, I used the mid-morning heat to my advantage and moved the redneck hay bale blind overlooking the heavy trail leading to water that the drop time buck stepped out on the evening before.
Well, 10 o'clock here, October 2nd. I've kept saying it, and I just really think we're already on a time schedule with this buck. You know, the corn comes out, it's going to shift everything, and
frankly, I just don't think we have the best places to shoot him. And, you know, maybe this heat that we've got is really a saving grace, getting him up earlier on his feet. I think we're tied to his bed, confirmed that last night. I think the heat is incentivizing him to get up out of that bed to go drink, and then he's right there browsing on clover. So, see if it works.
We moved it 20 yards from here is where that buck went into the water. I saw him. We didn't get that on camera, but he came right down this pond dam, and based on what he did yesterday, he'll be broadside at 20. So this is the best that we can do. We're using this little natural grass line right here. It's got some shrubs in it as our back cover. Hopefully that'll help make us fit a little bit better than just being right out in the open. But it's the best we got. I think this was the move, and we'll find out tonight. Fingers crossed tonight we get a shot.
38 miles to the east, Caleb Greiner is also making the most of the morning. Rather than logging miles on foot, his foot is on the gas pedal, covering pavement and gravel in search of permission ground near Lucky's presumed fall range.
Not home. Not home. It's always good when you're walking back with a smile on your face, huh? We just got permission on the piece that I thought he was on all summer long. So now we're basically getting everything around where I've originally had permission for this deer and been getting him on camera. But he's off the farm right now. I mean, if he's off the farm, then we gotta go find him. One of these bucks is on this farm. There's fresh rubs all up in here. That was gonna be mine. See these? It's walking literally through this. You see these fresh rubs? Dude, I mean, sure, there could be just some little bucks in here, but this is crazy thick cover. Like, I bet this buck could literally be here, right now, within 50 yards. We've got water. There's water here in the creek. I'm fired up right now, boys. We've came in here. This is the same permission that I just pulled. And we're finding big scrapes all over. There's really good bedding. It's right off the road, and I'm really thinking that this deer would probably walk by him, and he's bedded right off the road. It is super nasty thick. It looks like it's shrubs and bushes that they were planted in rows, and it's really tight for bedding. Beds all over. We didn't walk in it, because I think that's where he's at right now. All the crop got picked. Corn got picked all around us. There's water back here where we were getting photos of him in the summer. All those creeks dried up, and this was the closest water that was to him. So this is where I figured he was all summer. I just should have asked permission earlier. But we got 2 tracks in here. We're set, good to go. May get back out here for an observational sit, but I'm eager to see what these cameras show. I think this was seriously the piece of the puzzle that I was missing.
Riding the roller coaster of excitement of possibly locating the massive monarch, Caleb bails on the property for the evening and chooses to observe a different property that he can hunt.
We just got set up. This is my first sit for the Iowa 2023 season. But earlier today, we were getting a bunch of permission, and I just got a text from a landowner to the south of Lucky Farm. We picked up some more acres. We did, yesterday and today, we did a lot of door knocking. And we came up with, what did I say, 690 acres? I'm still waiting on one more. Had a great conversation with the guy and felt really good about it. So I think we're gonna end up with 770 acres. The funny part about it is there's about 10 acres of cover out of those 770 acres in total. So we'll see what happens. I'm pretty excited to see what flows out of here tonight. Why does he look so framey?
Well, today was a productive day. We got a bunch of permission. Hopefully we're gonna start gaining some intel with this lucky deer or this OG deer. My goals this year is one, I want to shoot a buck off the ground, and two, I want to kill one of those 2 bucks over on that lucky farm this year with a bow. So I'm eager to get back after it tomorrow.
I too was out hunting, tucked into the new spot on the edge of the pond. Though anticipation was high, hopes did not meet reality and the hunt was slow. The following day, October 3rd arrives, and Caleb Greiner makes his first hunt on what is now known as the Beaver Farm.
I'm thinking we slip back where that sprayer track is. We go out to that point, the CRP starts right here. Well, we just got settled in. We were on that new permission farm that I picked up yesterday. Scattered it yesterday, put a couple tracks cameras up on it, and what do you know? Today at 10:30 in the morning, we got a picture of what looked to be a pretty decent bodied deer. Definitely looks like a buck, but it could, to me it looks like a four-year-old or a mature deer. His left leg is extended, so his body, you're not gonna see that sag as well. This is the farm that I've been thinking this deer's been living on all year, and the reason being is because last year, the only thing that changed from when he was 5 going to 6 was that this CRP got put in over here. It's 3 acres, and last year we had a very dry summer, so that creek was dried up over on the Lucky Farm. Well, we came in here yesterday, there's beavers that dammed up this whole creek, and all the water is sitting right here. So this summer, you guys think about it, you can't see it from the road. Very secluded, overlooked property. We have CRP for cover, we have shade in these trees, we have a creek that's full of water, and no one's coming back here whatsoever. This is so remote back here, so that's a good recipe for a big one. So we'll see. Hopefully old Mr. King Kong Magnum comes out tonight.
While Caleb waits on Mr. King Kong Magnum to step out, 130 miles to the southwest, Owen Riegler is gearing up for his first hunt of the year.
All right, we're taking our one shot as promised. It's still pretty warm. I think the high was 83, 84 today, but it's cooled down a little bit. It's been 90. I got a good feeling about this wind, maybe getting him up out of his bed, moving before dark. We'll see. I really like this weather change with this wind picking up. It's been really still and stagnant the last 2 or 3 days with it being so warm. But we've got a strong south wind, and I'm gonna go into that stand that we hung the last time on the main show. I intended to hunt that with a southeast wind, but you need a certain wind speed to do that. You'd have enough wind speed today, but I'm gonna sneak up to that and test the wind, because there's a hill straight south of it. That's why I wanted a southeast, because I knew that'd stay more consistent. But when I get up to it, if that wind's staying consistent out of the south right there, we're gonna hunt that stand right there. I think that's the best odds for him. So let's sneak down there, check the wind, and see what it's doing right there by the stand. just make that shot. You gotta believe. That's what we need. South wind. I really think they're gonna move. We've got one up in the alfalfa already, we can see. At least one. It looks like a big doe. I don't know. I'm pretty hopeful to see him tonight. Feels awesome to be out here. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. I'm gonna be a little intense today, okay? We're after a little bitty deer, so we're just gonna settle in and be quiet. Thank you. Jeez, look at him just running for it. Crazy. What the heck? We're having a pretty darn good sit right now. We got 3 bucks and a doe right out here in front of us. I just told Devin I really feel like he's gonna step out. I feel good about it. We'll see what happens. Well, we're down to about 10-15 minutes here. We still got a nice little buck just east of me right here in the green, working this way. But man, when I seen all the deer stirring like they were tonight, I had high hopes he was gonna step out. He still could, but light is waning pretty fast, so might be over for tonight, but it feels awesome to be out in this weather. A little surprised that deer moved as good as they did. We've seen a bunch. That cold front's coming in tomorrow. The afternoon we'll be back, and then the next 3 or 4 days with this cold front coming in, we'll be back out hunting all those days, so we'll see you guys then.
What's up, man?
Let's do it.
Let's.
Over the next few days, many members of the team get out for hunts, trying to scratch the itch while not burning out their best spots in preparation for the incoming breath of fresh air.
Well, guys, that wraps up my first of the year. Can't complain about it at all. I think the final tally is 13 does or small bucks. We obviously didn't have tight 10 work up the corn edge like I was hoping, but we've got this cold front coming in Thursday and Friday. Obviously, if Mike's hunting, I'll be filming him, but if not, I'll be back out and trying to make a game plan for this deer. Cat and mouse game starts now.
With the snap of a finger, the relief is finally here in the form of a cold front barreling through Iowa. Nearly 40 degrees of change lies between today's real feel and the season opener. With this change in mind, Drake Lamb makes his first hunt of the season, targeting the giant he's followed all summer known as the flyer buck.
First set of the year. I was hanging the cameraman set. A little 8-pointer was bedded right up in this little buck bedding area, whatever you want to call it. But he stood up and then he fed around for a little bit and then he's bedded back down. So
This is a good little funnel spot. It's a good little transition. These deer feel really safe in here because of the standing corn. It's secluded by this little 8-pointer. He feels pretty safe, so I'm hoping to fly our bucks up in here a little bit further in one of these draws that splits off from this main draw. There's a lot of good bedding. It's real thick in here, so fingers crossed he's in this draw.
That same evening, 70 miles to the southwest of Drake, Owen Riegler is making the march for his most anticipated sit yet.
Well, we're in bright and early today. It's only like 3:30. We have 4 hours till dark. But the conditions feel so good, I wanted to be here early. I'm not sure where this Loch Ness buck is, actually. Feels like he moved somewhere. I thought we seen him yesterday morning at first light, but I went and checked cameras today. I checked the cameras except for in this plot right here, and there wasn't a single picture of him, which is obviously concerning. You know, I feel like he might have moved or something. But that scrape we've been getting on is right up there. And I haven't checked that camera, so heck, he could be hitting that every day and I don't know it, but if he doesn't show up here today, I will be concerned about where the heck he is. I'll have to come in and check these cameras just out of necessity, I feel like. But we're gonna find out something this evening. Conditions are as good as you can get. Cold front's here. It's about 47, 48 degrees right now. Stiff northwest wind. It's maintaining like in the low 20s, gusting to 30, 35, so it's nice and cool. We got some east, southeast facing hillsides right here and here, which should be pretty good with this kind of wind speed. They're going to be out of the wind, so either side I could see them coming from. Let's sit in and see what happens. Yes! I am fired off.
With deer beginning to move all around him, Owen scans the tree line for the flash of antler. That same afternoon, 130 miles to the northeast, Mike Reed is preparing to hunt a similar setup to Owen on the river farm.
Friday, October 6th, we are back out, actually in the same blind we were in yesterday. We're down at the river bottom farm. We're sitting over this turnip plot, hoping DK shows up. I've talked about this before. I'm not super confident being able to kill him early, but you never know. I mean, he was in this plot in daylight in the evening at the end of August and a little bit at the beginning of September. There's a little clover plot up the way that he's in sometimes in the middle of the night. So I think as all the corn comes out, there's more pressure surrounding the area that he's going to move more into the farm. At least that's what I'm hoping. So I think our best chance of getting him is going to be end of October. But you never know. With these kind of conditions in early October, anything could happen. And if he happened to work his way back into the farm last night and is bedded somewhere nearby, this is one of the best early season food sources I've got. So we'll see who shows up. It's crazy, the turkeys this year. There's some good looking lettuce out there, man. It's funny. That's easy. about 6:30, and that's the first good buck of the evening. That's the same buck that came under me last year at the head of the slough and sneezed a bunch of times under us. He's a nice looking deer. I do think he's a 5-year-old. He's got a pretty white rack.
Back in southern Iowa, Owen's action on the monster buck green plot continues.
We've already seen 17 deer, maybe 4 bucks. It's about as good as you can get. If he doesn't pop out today, I'll be surprised. On pins and needles waiting on him. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen today, man. We went from the highest of highs to, I don't want to say the lowest of lows, but tell you, a little disappointed. I thought for sure he'd show up. I just don't know where he's at. It might be one of those things too, you know, where they shed their velvet and they just go nocturnal. So, you know, maybe that's all he's done, but he hasn't been on camera either. We'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. My goodness, that escalated quickly. I had him at 55. I ranged him right there, and I was kind of considering it. It was low light. You know, if you ever make a bad shot, or at least for me, it's usually in a low light situation, so I really didn't want to take that shot. That's a long shot anyway, so something bumped a couple of deer that chased him up the hill. He ran up by the tree stand up there, and yeah, we watched him for a long time. Sent in the blind about 15-20 minutes after dark, and then that blind sits right on the edge of a creek, so we climbed out of the blind down the bank of the creek, into the creek, and then walked the creek out. So I think we got out without bumping him, which was critical as far as I was concerned. But man, it's good to lay eyes on him finally. Pretty darn awesome. A little fired up. I doubt I'll sleep tonight. Man, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
While Owen's hunt peaked at the end, the same isn't said about Mike and Drake's hunts, and the two pack up with their tags in hand for another day. Caleb Greiner also spent the evening hunting, but this time with girlfriend Casey Murray. Although the duo saw 0 deer while on stand, the time was enjoyed, and at the hunt's conclusion, Caleb turned his sights back to southern Iowa, where he needed to return in order to get some work accomplished. During the trip south, he can't believe what his eyes are seeing.
All right, we just wrapped up the hunt. Really slow, man. Another night where we got busted and skunked. But if you guys have been following along with the Lucky stories so far this year, we got some good intel so far tonight. The farm that we've been hunting this week had an absolute
giant show back up. Or I shouldn't say show back up, but we had a giant show back. I just said it again. We had a giant show up. And he's huge. And I just could not be any more pumped or excited. Shay and I are just stoked. And hopefully we can get after it. Get after one of these 3 bucks.
The following day, October 7th arrives, bringing with it the best hunting weather of the season. With sights still set on the buck known as Velveeta, Justin Lubrecht and Tyler Bellman are hitting the field in northern Missouri using corn rows for perfect access.
Well, we just got to the blind here. It's roughly 4:30 and the deer are already out here. It looks like there's 7, 8 deer. So we're gonna have to just play it safe here because we know he's bedded close. Just like that, that's why we planted that corn. There was 8 deer on the field and we got in here safe. Now they're just still out here eating, so that's a good sign. Well guys, here it is, October the 7th, and me and Tyler are up here at the main farm. We decided to come back here and hunt the big plot on the west end after a buck we call Velveeta. This is the plot where I was having all them encounters with him last year, and we finally had a cold front move through the area as it's just been hot and dry ever since season started here. I killed in similar conditions back in 2019 on October the 4th on a cold front just like this, so hopefully this will get Velveeta up on his feet. We haven't had very many pictures of him this year, but we just had a picture of him just to the south of us right here on this camera this morning, so we know he's bedded somewhere out in front of us here. And we had a lot of deer already out in the field when we got in the stand. Luckily, we got in here without busting anything off the field. So we're gonna get settled in here, and fingers crossed, Velveeta makes an appearance tonight.
While Justin and Tyler watch the field in front of them filled with deer, 210 miles to the north back in Iowa, Owen Riegler is making the walk to the same field he hunted the evening before.
Well, here it is, October 7th. We hunted here yesterday evening. We actually saw the target, the old Loch Ness Monster. He came out just before dark. But he was right there at 55 yards, feeding away. Then a couple other deer bumped him and he ran up the hill and over by that other tree stand we set up on the main show. Super high pressure, it's still cool, about 60 degrees. I would like to be in a tree stand, but this is the only set we have in this area for a west-northwest wind, which is what we have. We can hunt this on a west, west-northwest, or northwest. So we've got to hunt a blind. Can't get in a stand down here. But at any rate, it should be an excellent evening. We saw a pile of deer yesterday. We got this set right on the edge of a creek, so we can just exit, dump off the bank into the creek, and then walk the creek out, which is what we did last night. He was still up there feeding and we just skipped into the creek and got out of here, so I think we made a clean exit. We'll find out. I feel pretty good about seeing him. We'll see what happens. Pretty cool. If we get one tonight, we might have to put it on the other side of the headstone, so he's got two. Well, it's just after 5 here. We've been here about an hour and a half. Got 4 does out. It's the first deer we've seen, so definitely slower than it was yesterday, but still a lot of time, so I'm hopeful. Go ahead, send him. Send him. Here they come. He's out way early. Oh my word. Yes, sir. Coming right at us. Heart rate is up. Yes, sir. Come on, buddy. He needs to come down and nudge these two, this doe and this little one. Closing the distance, big boy. He's down to 80. Oh, we got him. Dude, we got him, buddy. Dude, your dad's up there smiling so bad right now. You know what's crazy? I was just talking about him just before he stepped out. Dude, that is nuts. Oh my God. Celebrations. Go. Celebrate good times. Oh my word. Let him have it. Oh man. The adrenaline, dude, my back is just pulsing from adrenaline. Oh, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is? It's 6:46. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. Well, try and text my buddies. Let's gather up our gear. We might as well head up and just start getting stuff around. We'll wait to track him till the guys get here. I think everybody's hunting except for Josh. So we'll see if we can get him here.
Well, cold front hit. Joy and I just were at a wedding. We got the call. Loch Ness is dead. And that can only mean one thing. That means tacos to go, And Owen, we are on the way, brother. I cannot be happier for you. I've said this time and time again. So I don't know how many people, but Owen, his story, what he emulates is so inspiring for guys like me who are trying to chase that same dream. And so thank you, Owen, for all that you've shared with us and for allowing us to come be a part of this amazing journey. So we'll be there soon. Cannot wait to see this buck, but more importantly, cannot wait to see the smile when you put your hand on. While Owen rounds up the troops to take up the trail, back in northern Missouri, Justin Lubrecht is anxiously scanning the tree line after receiving the news.
Well, guys, we're down to the last hour of daylight here. As you can tell, we've had deer movement pretty much all evening since we've been in the stand, and I'm not gonna lie, me and Tyler have been on pins and needles. As every deer that steps into the field, we think it's that Velveeta buck. We just got word that Owen has caught up to that Loch Ness monster buck, and hopefully we can add fuel to that fire and keep that streak going here this evening. The other one too, around the corner. Oh, that's Nubbins. He's got them two nubs on his left side. Oh, Tyler, there he is. It's him. Let's feed him. Let's get this window open. Well, guys, that escalated pretty quickly as we just had that encounter with Velveeta. I was looking at these bucks over to my left here, and I look over straight out, and there he was. He was out there about 80 to 90 yards, and we had these bucks to the left here, and he was coming in charged toward him, and I had the window shut, and obviously I couldn't get it open because they was on us. They were so close. He walked in within 20 yards, and I couldn't get a shot at him, and then he worked the other bucks off and never came back in. But it's just like last year when I had the exact same encounter with him, the exact same window that I couldn't get open in time, and he went right through the opening. So
Oh, well, it's good to see him on his feet, and the first time we've seen him in daylight. We hadn't had any pictures of him in daylight this year, so hopefully he's moved in here and he starts doing just like he did last year. We're going to catch up with that buck, but we were so close to adding that fuel to the fire and tagging along with Owen with that Loch Ness buck, but we'll be back at it, and hopefully we can catch up with him soon.
Got a whole posse with us. This is awesome. He's gonna, I bet you he is either in those tall weeds or just into the beans, I bet. Got blood right there? That didn't take long. Yes, sir. Got the whole posse with us. This is the first time I've ever been on a track job with more than 2 guys. It's awesome. The whole Midwest Whitetail crew. I've got a good friend, Chuck, with me. We went back and we watched the footage, and I put Devin in a little bit of a tough spot. We slowed it down and it looked like I hit him just left side of the shoulder. I was worried I got into the shoulder, but watching it back, I think it actually just missed the shoulder and hit the far shoulder. When he runs up the hill, he starts curling hard to the left, and I think that might be the end. I think he was curling hard to the left and he was gonna go down right there. So we'll take up the track and see what we got. Sure enough, here you go, yep. All through here, yeah, he's opening up pretty good right through there. Oh yeah, he's curling hard left right there, yes sir. Right there, right there, right there. This is starting to look good for us, and bad for him. He's opening right up. I smell him right now. Yeah, he's right here somewhere. Right there's blood. Right there, boys. You called it. You could smell him. He didn't go anywhere. Sure enough, when he started curling to the left, he didn't make it very far at all. Come on, guys, take a look at him. Whoa! Whoa! What can you say about that? An absolute dream buck. Check out the velvet still. All of his points have got velvet. No words. What do you say? It's so cool to see what they do from year to year. You know, when he was 4.5, he had split brows like this. And then at 5.5, he cleaned up. He was just a straight up 10. And now look what he did. Just trashed up something crazy. Whew. No words. What do you say? 40 years of dreaming about that one. Thank you guys for coming out. That's what makes it really special. Not about me, it's about all you guys, the friends, and everybody that's helped me along the way, so that's what's important.
I passed it before, you saying.
Oh, appreciate it. Yeah. What do you really say, you know? I mean, an absolute dream buck. Started out as a kid, you know, in Michigan hunting public land and fell in love with this. And I mean, this really is my dream. It has been for almost 40 years of bow hunting. Chased my dreams, you know, moved out here to Iowa, and this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to own, you know, 80 acres, 40 acres, whatever I could get. I wanted my dad to come out and hunt with me and chase things like this that really didn't seem like a reality, but you always dreamed about it. It's a special moment and definitely want to celebrate this and remember all the people that made this possible, because when you really think about it, these kind of successes and what I've done out here in Iowa is not really so much about you. It's about your team, you know, it's about all the people around you. And, you know, my mom and dad, I have to mention, my brother, Joe, another one that's, you know, just super important to me that I feel forever indebted to. You know, just so many people that have made this possible, and that's what this is about to me. That's what this means to me, is the team that's been around me that made me successful. They allowed me to flourish, basically. You know, my parents always helped me, so it seems unreal to be sitting behind a deer like this, honestly. I mean, at 3.5, you could tell he was going to be special, but at 2.5, you really have no idea. And you just got to get the age on him, you know. You just got to see what they've got. And boy, he had it. That's just nuts. And then, you know, at 6.5, I've seen this in a couple other bucks. Picket fence would be another one that they just really zone into a tight core, and that's where they're at. They own that area. I call them like a king buck. They're the king in that area. They're probably not leaving, you know, and they're more huntable at that time. You know, at younger ages, they cover more ground. They're tougher to hunt. You know, at 4 and 5, he's pretty nocturnal. I just don't know what to say, you know. Super fortunate and obviously a dream buck. Appreciate you guys following along on the story of the Loch Ness Monster. I really hope you enjoyed the show.
And I just really think we're already on a time schedule with this buck. You know, the corn comes out, it's going to shift everything. Frankly, I just don't think we have the best places to shoot him. And
I think our best chance at getting him is going to be end of October. But you never know. With these kind of conditions in early October, there's a little clover plot up the way that he's in sometimes in the middle of the night. So
The farm that we've been hunting this week had an absolute giant show back up. Or I shouldn't say show back up, but we had a giant show back. I just said it again. We had a giant show up. And he's huge. And I just could not be any more pumped or excited. Shay and I are just stoked. And hopefully we can get after it. Get after one of these 3 bucks.
It's a special moment and definitely want to celebrate this and remember all the people that made this possible, because when you really think about it, these kind of successes and what I've done out here in Iowa, it's not really so much about you, it's about your team, you know, it's about all the people around you, and super fortunate and obviously a dream buck.
A dream buck indeed, and nobody deserves it more. Only 1 week into the season, the furious pace of buck activity sets the bar so high that even the distant rut may fail to match. As crops continue to disappear, new puzzles to solve emerge, holding our attention steadfast as the calendar pages flip. Every day brings new opportunities, and each crisp October breeze reminds us of one thing: the best is yet to come. With this certainty in mind, tomorrow we lace up our boots and step onto the road once more, embarking on the road to chasing November.